Hello, everyone. I'm Larry Ridley. Welcome to the NFL on EA Sports. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Today we have an exciting matchup between two teams looking to perform on a big stage. It's the Texans going up against the Lions. With that, let's hand it over to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis. They've got the call of this Week 12 matchup.
All right, we appreciate it, Larry. It's our exclusive coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Houston Texans and the Detroit Lions. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Lions team entering play. They come into this one off a bit of a clunker last time out, a loss that ended their 5-game winning streak. Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Texans, they're in a real groove of late. Winners of 5 of their last 6 games.
And the offense, my goodness, over 50 points in the win last weekend. When you do that, you're not going to lose very many games, maybe not any games.
It's been a tradition since the early days of the NFL, and we're off on Thanksgiving Day in Detroit. This is taken about 7 yards deep, and they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. And trotting out there, their tall quarterback standing at 6'5". They'll try and start this drive in the air. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 13 yards on the game's opening play.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
That's a good chunk of yardage. It's going to be canceled out.
And we always talk about hidden yardage in a game. That's going to count as that because now it doesn't go on the books, but now they have to make that up again, don't they?
They'll run it now out of the gun. What a spin. It's a foot race. The 20, 10, and he just falls short down at the 1-yard line. A fresh set of downs, and they're at the 1. First and goal. He'll look to throw. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. You know, last week it was unbelievable how many times they were in the backfield. They had 7 sacks. Whatever they had for pregame meal last week, maybe they had it again.
I think they're going to continue to repeat it if they keep this up. But remember, we were at their facility, and we walked past the defensive meeting room, and what did it say over the door?
Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more.
Okay, let's go back a little bit and see if my schooling comes to the front. What's that old saying? Those who forget the lessons of history are doomed to repeat them. That's the same guy who's gotten back-to-back sacks. I think a double team may be in order.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that is caught. Touchdown, Detroit. With these Thursday night games, sometimes you get those quick turnarounds. You wonder how a team's going to start. They started really well.
Everyone's always wondering, going into a Thursday night game, who has their legs, who has the overall health of the team. But mentally, if you get that early edge, the other team might think to itself, it's been a short week. We're not really ready to go. You might run them into the ground that way. That's why getting that early score means a lot.
This is taken at the 3. And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34. So out come the Texans for their opening drive. And they'll be led out by the guy under center, Charles, their quarterback.
They'll come out throwing here on first down. And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. Raekwon McMillan in there for the sack, and it's an important one from a personal standpoint as that is sack number 100 in what has certainly been a terrific career to this point. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Got a man over the middle, and it's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
Time running out here on the play clock. They'll look to throw now on first down. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Mills. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
Well, I don't mean to jump in on you, partner, but they didn't waste any time getting downfield, did they? I mean, a nice big play there.
3 plays, 3 successful plays in plus territory. Now this defense on its heels a bit.
It seems like they had something targeted there, doesn't it? It's like, okay, we've got a matchup we like coming right out of the gate. Let's go ahead and get right to it.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. And the Buffet boys, the O-line, hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field. And when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 1. And he'll give it here to his running back. But he will have the first down before he's tackled at the 12. 10 yards there, good enough for a Texan first down.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
So they pick up the first down after the run, and now they approach for the fresh set. Now they run. It's Mason. He'll get this down inside the 10 for a pickup of about 3.
I once had a defensive player in the NFL tell me, if I beat and dominate the guy across from me, I'm helping my team. But winning one-on-one battles is always a part of the game. But when you have good team defense...
With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and it's Texans football as we get going in quarter number 2. They face a 2nd and 7 to start things out. They'll send a receiver in motion to the right. Now they'll run it on the toss. And only about a yard there as he takes it from the 9 to the 8.
Okay, no score on that play, but this guy's been a touchdown machine all year long. You know they trust him with the football.
On third down, he'll drop to throw. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up fourth down.
This team is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. He came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
And his kick is right there. It's good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So the drive takes them inside the 10, but it ends with just 3.
And a nice job defensively to rise up and make sure they didn't get in.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Short kick here, fielded about the 17. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. And Detroit getting set to go now. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs. So they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. Now a play fake here on first down. Finds his man, Watson, over the middle. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. A good pickup there at 22.
There's so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? That sprang the big guy, didn't it?
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack.
Now, that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack. And that's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Wide open receiver complete. And all the way down to the 9. It's a big play there for the Lions. 44 yards.
Similar to a slant, it's all about timing when you're throwing a crossing route. Quarterback and receiver have to be in sync, and when they put it on them just right and catch it full speed, running through a defense, can often result in a big pickup of yardage.
And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage.
Now, that was a good job by the defense swarming to the football. And you know it's no cinch that you're going to be able to get the ball into the end zone against them. They're number 2 against the run. So what's an offensive coordinator to do? Check your playlist.
He pushes forward for maybe 3 down to the 6-yard line.
And, Brad, they went to a nickel defense, and that's a surprise this close to the goal line. Because ordinarily you use the back end of the end zone, the sidelines as extra defenders, and you want bigger people on the field to try and help against the run.
Now back to throw. And he's got his man. It's caught for a Lion touchdown. You know, the man on our cover, John Madden, so synonymous with these Thanksgiving Day games. He was on TV for these from, I think, 81 to 01, giving out the Turkey Leg Award and turducken he always talked about. Especially when you got a guy going off like this, I think he would be a good recipient of the Turkey Leg Award.
Well, he's definitely already worked on that leg. Is it possible he could end up getting the whole turkey?
Yeah, give him a thigh,
or the whole turducken. And it's really great that you mentioned Coach Madden, because everyone knows him from this. Everyone knows him from the broadcast booth. Remember, he won a Super Bowl as a head coach in Oakland.
Yep, he did indeed. But right now, we are watching maybe one of those turkey leg performances with his second touchdown there. And here comes the Texans now. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. On play action, they'll throw. Eluding the pressure right. And unable to connect on the long pass. It falls down incomplete.
But one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown them a lot of different looks here in the first half. They come after them. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. And he motions the wide receiver. They'll set up to throw. He's got his tight end on the corner route. It's complete. And he's got the first down yardage before being taken down at midfield. 23 yards on the play. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Back to more NFL action on EA Sports after this. A reminder that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll check in with Larry Ridley in Orlando with highlights and analysis of this first half of play.
And I'm going to check in with a heater.
I'm going to be right there with you, partner. Now they'll run it on the toss. And good penetration here. He'll get this down only to about the 49-yard line. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. They'll drop to throw. And he's going to be swallowed up. Sacked back at the 45-yard line. The Texans on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 15. He'll look to throw. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. The Texans send the punter out as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. And a great job here. This is going to turn out to be a beauty. This is marked down at about the 3-yard line. Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back onto the field. And maybe he's starting to wave the white flag a little bit. He's playing pretty well, but the pressure, it's got to him.
Has to find a way to step around it, step through it, or just handle it. Because as you mentioned, he's having a pretty good day overall. Just the hits keep coming and taking those sacks. That's not the way that they want to finish a ball game with their quarterback on the ground so much.
He'd like to stay upright. When he's been upright, he's been pretty good. Very tough spot here for the offense to start. Now a handoff here to his running back. And a short gain here as he gets it up only to about the 6. Now the Texans are going to stop it as they signal for a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime.
Green, 39, green.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Over the middle, it's caught by Rodgers. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. So still in search of the first down after that last completion.
Let's go.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. And this is going to be incomplete.
So many offenses want to include their running backs into their passing offense and be able to swing the ball out or check it down to them. but sometimes those guys are just not as comfortable catching the ball as they are running it.
Here comes the Lions punter now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. He gets this away. It's a good one, drawing toward the sidelines. And the punt goes out of bounds. Where will they put it? They'll put it just inside the 45-yard line. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back onto the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
They go play action here on first down. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number one.
When you see passes knocked down by those guys I call the frustrated fullbacks, the linebackers, you know that in their zone coverage, they were able to drop, see the ball thrown, and react to it very quickly.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. He sets to fire deep. This is caught inside the 15. Touchdown, Houston. A big play there. His third touchdown now on the year. And the Texans are able to show off their quick strike ability.
I think everyone in the league talks about finishing, don't they? Doesn't matter whether it's a quarter, a half, a game, a series, whatever. But they're finishing the first half in fine style, putting that one in the end zone.
They did, and they didn't leave much time on the clock either. Well done. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. Oh, look at the juke. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. Now we get a peek at the captain of this offense heading back out there. And he's been good. 2 first-half touchdown passes, no interceptions so far.
Does a lot for your confidence. Does a great deal for your team. Gives them a lead, and they're feeling really good about how they're playing. I think he expects to throw at least another one.
I was going to say, nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Texans say they have it. They do. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. Didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, let's just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he's in for the score. Touchdown, Texans. A great effort there. Touchdown number 15 of the year. And the Texans are in for 6.
And while that touchdown does not give them an insurmountable lead, it's still a lead, and that always feels good to a team.
They'd love to take that into the lockers, but a little time left on that clock, so some work to do.
I like that. I like how you're guarding against a letdown there.
Are you looking forward?
Coaching them up from right up here in the booth.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call it in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. On third down, it's Rodgers, and he's going to lose yardage here, back to his own 18. Losing 4 yards that time, and now it's 4th down.
That goes down as a loss against his rushing stats. But really, should he have to absorb that one? He had no chance on that play before they overwhelmed him.
Pretty much on top of him before he could take his first step. And apparently that's all, Larry. So much for the halftime report. We'll see you in the postgame. We're ready to get to the 3rd quarter. This is taken at his 4. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. A pickup of 11 and a Texans first down.
Brandon, more and more offenses are going to the philosophy of using every inch of the field to try and spread things out. And when you're running back and catch the ball as well, that can only help your offense.
Fake. They'll look to throw. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Pressure, and that's certainly going to be a key to this game going forward. And that time, they were able to get in there and influence the throw. And remember, quarterbacks got to get rid of it. They don't have the tuck rule that they can fall back on anymore.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. He's going to air one out. This is caught inside the 15. A big-time play there for the Texans. 51 yards.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels. Now they'll run it on the toss. And now they're going to get him down right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. It's a pickup of 3, but still a little work to do on 3rd and goal.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
And this offense on 3rd down today, they've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and goal. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. A great play there. His 2nd TD of the game and 16th on the season. And the Texans will add on to their lead. A good, sustained drive there in this 3rd quarter, capping it off with a touchdown to give them a nice 2-score advantage.
It was actually a fun one to watch, wasn't it? I mean, for me, seeing the mix of what they did, how they moved the ball downfield, very sharp, too. Each and every play seemed to be executed with great dispatch.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things work well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. It's a 6-yard pickup, but it gets them to 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference as we
nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
And a little bit of good fortune there. He wasn't able to get it back, but he did have a teammate on the spot able to retain possession for them.
They'll look to throw here. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. 20, 10, touchdown, Detroit. A big play there. His 6th touchdown of the season. And the Lions have got it back to a 1-score game. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
This is taken at the 3. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. And now out comes Houston. They were able to extend their lead with an opening drive touchdown here in the 3rd quarter, but that just got matched a moment ago.
So we know that what they discussed at the half worked. Now, what are the counters to that, right? You don't just run the same things over and over. Some do, but many will also show something and then come back with something else to keep the defense off balance.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Looking left side, and it's complete. A very solid gain of 27. Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. Now they'll run it on the toss. Past the 20. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 15. He's able to rip off 32 on that one. It's a 1st down.
Sometimes those lines that are drawn on a grease board or in a playbook, they come to life out on the field, don't they? And we just saw that on that outside handoff to the right.
That right tackle, he gets excited for that call, doesn't he?
He does, because he just wants to dominate his guy and say, listen, I was the point of attack. I took care of business. That's why you're able to...
And he's not able to get away. Sacked back at the 22. Raekwon McMillan in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
And that's the 2nd sack of the game, but this player, disruptive in all phases, whether he's going upfield, coming underneath, you name it. He's a big-time guy you have to block.
And got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Houston. He's in the MVP race, no doubt. Last year, Zeke finishing 3rd. Fournette trying to better that.
Love his body control. Love how he's physical yet fluid when he runs his routes. And that's why he finds himself open so often.
Picking up where he left off in that great performance a week ago. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2 minutes. Who knows? Let's see what they decide to do.
They'll look to throw. He hits his target, left side, Watson. And heavy contact. He is knocked down hard, right around the 31.
Brandon, they didn't get everything they wanted out of that play, but the tight end did. And I don't mean it in a positive way.
So the offense readies for a 2nd and 4.
All right, here we go.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Green 39! Green 39!
Back to throw here. And the pressure gets to him again.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. For the left side, it's complete. The 30, the 20, 10, 5, and he'll be down deep in Houston territory. The decision to go for it pays off, and now they're set up 1st and goal.
And they pick up the 1st down on a 4th down play. I don't know if the defense relaxed because they thought maybe they'd stopped them on 3rd down, or if they just didn't protect the sticks very well. But, boy, that's a big-time pickup right there.
And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask.
Face mask. Defense.
Well, when you're leading in the 4th quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all, and now your discipline comes into question. Having poise this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
Green 39!
They'll set up a throw. And he's going to go down. Sacked back at the 13-yard line.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Now let's go! Blue, landed!
They're going to look to throw. That's complete right around the 8. And here he'll get it down to the 7. That time the completion goes for 4 yards, and we're set up with a 3rd and goal.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain.
That's a tough one not to hang on to on 3rd and goal, but good job defensively to get there and jar it loose.
Agreed. That was really, really nicely done because there's no pass interference on the play. Timing excellent to get in there and knock it away. A win for the defense, and it brings up 4th down.
All right, so you needed 2 scores to get back in the game. The field goal then maybe not exactly what they wanted, but it's a necessary first step.
Still plenty of time remaining, but you could really use a stop defensively after the kickoff, preferably a 3 and out.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is fielded at the goal line. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. And the Texans set to come onto the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Now a handoff as they run left side. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play there. Second down. Defensively, no doubt they need a quick stop. Offensively here, maybe do you put it in the air on second down, or do you go ahead and keep it on the ground, keep that clock moving?
A lot of people would ask that question, partner, because sometimes throwing the ball might actually be the path of least resistance. But in this case, it's a matter of trust. How much do you trust your...
And now off to the races down the right side. Touchdown, Houston. A big play there with his second touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the Texans will extend their lead.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his second touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he's going to be shoved down pretty hard at the 22-yard line. So out now come the Lions. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point...
The kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about
toe bashed it.
Super toe.
Looking to throw. Throwing the slant pattern here, complete. The 40. He's at the 30. 10. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. A big play there. 76 yards. And the Lions able to get this back within a touchdown. Okay, game on. Don't go anywhere yet. You got a one-score game now. Probably going to rely on the onside kick coming up.
Yeah, they have to. It's not a high percentage play, but it's better than not having a chance at all. And that's when you put your leapers and your flyers on one side, get that high hop, and hope that one of the guys can come up with it.
And on the other side, get that hands team ready.
No doubt about it.
And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
And he stopped immediately there. And now the Lions going to stop us momentarily as they call a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages.
Here we go now. Blue 90. Blue 90.
That one looks like he'll throw here. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. 3rd and long coming up. Defensively, you pressure the quarterback or drape all over the passing lane?
Yes, that's exactly what you do. It's both because they're not mutually exclusive. They may have been at one time in football, but not anymore. You want to have that pressure. If you have a big-time pass rusher, send him after the quarterback, and then make sure you blanket the field.
He'll drop to throw. Going down the middle, and it's complete. And we're going to get another timeout called by the Lions. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage, look defensively. They'll bring a receiver in motion right. Now they'll run it on the toss. And some room to work. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Now the defense will burn their 3rd and final timeout And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And incomplete on the deep ball. These are the spots, this stage of the game, where it pays to have speed on the perimeter, doesn't it?
It certainly does. And in the second quarter, he may very well run by him. But in this situation, I know as a defender, I'm loosening up a couple of extra steps that allowed him to run with him stride for stride.
The Texans on third down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. This is 3rd and 16. He'll look to throw. He's going to look deep down the field. And a shot taken on third down, unsuccessful. 4th down now.
There's definitely contact there, but it's the fourth quarter of a kind of tight game, and sometimes officials just say, let them play. Kind of like your mom used to with you and your brothers. Just take the broom to you and send you out to the backyard and tell you to settle it yourselves.
I like that, yeah. There was contact. I don't know, like you said, enough to warrant the flag. It was close, though. So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. And well done here. That one will kick out of bounds at about the 8-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. They're down here in a 1-score game. But the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late game situation. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity? They've called these plays a bunch of times. Now's their chance to execute them.
They have the opportunity now. Here's the execution. That one good for 21 yards. Back to throw. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Work with me, partner. Take a deep breath, because that's what they're doing down the field now. That incompletion allowed them to exhale a little bit. Get in the huddle, kind of scan the crowd, see if any celebrities are here. Relax a little bit as they start this big drive.
He'll look to throw. Throw left side complete. That's Watson.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they're marching off another 15 against your squad.
He's back to throw. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 23 yards on the play. First down now, but that clock rolling. And down to just 21 seconds now as he spikes it to stop the clock. And on 2nd and 10 now. They'll look to throw. His throw caught right around the 6. And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown.
Obviously, the excitement level here is almost a fever pitch. Down 1 is tempted to go for 2. I say you go ahead and kick the extra point. You got the home crowd carried into overtime.
I'm with you. I do see some fans, though, holding up 2 fingers. Easy now.
Yeah, but they're not the ones who have to actually make that call, are they?
So here comes the kickoff now, all even here in this 4th quarter. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And with time a factor here late, he'll just take a knee, and they'll start things out at the 25. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. They'll come out throwing here on first down. Wide open receiver complete. And he's in for the touchdown. And in the final seconds, forget overtime, they've just likely won this thing in regulation.
And that score in this time frame, that's like a big reveal at the end of a great movie, isn't it? Out of nowhere, almost, it appears, they get it done. How about that score?
Finishes like this is why we love sports. This is why we love the game of football.
So glad that we got to be here to watch this one.
Now the extra point. And it's no good. Well, that could be a critical miss here in a one-score game in the fourth. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This will be taken in at the 1. So some drama down to the very end of this ball game, Charles, on that final kickoff. They were hoping to break free, some sort of miracle play, but they couldn't do it.
They had a chance, and that was their only opportunity to try and bring it all the way back. As you noted, they weren't able to get that done, but at least they had the shot. What a tremendous game to be this close and this well contested.
So for Houston, they keep pace in the playoff race as they move to 8-3 on the year. And they'll get a few days to savor this one before they take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Meanwhile, for Detroit, we'll see how this affects their playoff standing as they fall to 7-4 now on the year. And they'll be back home next week as they're set to take on the Carolina Panthers. So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. With that, we say so long, everybody.